Jimmy Kimmel once again gets mocked, but this time for blaming the GameStop revolt on the Russians. That's right. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest woke-inspired misstep of the late-night host, how more and more people are pushing back, and how this is but the latest in a whole line of embarrassments that have plagued this incurably woke celebrity wannabe. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Wonderful to be with you. As always, we're here to give you conservative hope in the midst of these turbulent times by helping you think better so you can feel better. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a regular part of this channel. Also, for you Rumble fans, make sure to subscribe to our brand new Rumble channel by clicking on the link below there. And for you podcast fans, we are now one of the top 20 podcasts in the nation for political commentary. So make sure to click on that link below and sign up for our various podcast platforms. Before we begin, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, keeping our lights on here. And that's the makers of the Cold Killer Heater. It is an amazing device. It works in even the coldest corners of my home where it seems impossible to warm up. It's my very own furnace at my fingertips. I can move it virtually anywhere I want, my desktop, countertop, patio, or any other flat surface that needs heat. Order the Cold Killer today and take advantage of 50% off for first-time buyers. Visit thecoldkiller.com. That's thecoldkiller.com, or simply click on the link in the description below and stay warm this winter season. Today, all right, gang, let's dive right in here. The late-night host, or perhaps better, the late-night embarrassment, Jimmy Kimmel, is getting some serious backlash as we speak for his ridiculous assertion that the so-called Reddit investors who ended up causing hedge funds to lose billions of dollars in their GameStop trades, Kimmel had the goal to call them Russian disruptors. Now, I really have no idea whatsoever as to why Kimmel decided to throw himself into the midst of all this. My only guess is he just wanted to remind us that he's still there. His ratings are abysmal, but as are all, by the way, late-night hosts. They've together destroyed late-night entertainment that was so perfected by the genius of Johnny Carson. They completely thwarted that inheritance with their cheap, lewd, and disgustingly partisan leftist attempts at humor. But for whatever reason, Kimmel wanted to insert himself in the midst of what many are calling the populist revolt against the predatory nature of globalist hedge funds. And so, as part of his Friday night monologue in his show, Jimmy Kimmel Live there, that less and less people are watching, he said this. He said, GameStop, if you don't know, is a video game store, and like a lot of businesses, they've been struggling because of COVID, but also because most people buy games online now. And yet, despite a sharp decline in sales over the past 6 months, their stock price has grown by 8,000% because a bunch of amateur investors, maybe even some Russian disruptors, who are part of a Reddit community called Wall Street Bets, decided to buy a bunch of GameStop stock and drive the price up and screw over the hedge fund guys who had shorted the stock. And so the punchline goes on to say, now the hedge fund guys are upset and they're pushing for an investigation, and they're like, we can't have a bunch of randos from Reddit manipulating the market. That's what we do, stealing our things and all. So, you know, it's the old, you can't take what we've rightfully stolen, right? All right, so we get it. Welcome to the party. We're a little late here. Now, the joke would have been innocuous enough had he just said it. You know, a bunch of amateur investors ending up beating a bunch of billionaire stock traders at their own game. What could go wrong with that, right? But no, see, Kimmel had to throw in this assertion that these amateur investors were Russian disruptors. No one laughed. It added nothing, absolutely nothing to the attempt at humor. It was just this jab at the populist revolt. Don't get too chummy with these guys because, after all, Trump was a populist and Trump is evil. And we all know that because of the Russian collusion thing that turned out to be a total and complete hoax bought and paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign. Now, of course, there isn't a shred of evidence. Surprise, surprise. There isn't a shred of evidence of Russian involvement with the amateur investors. But besides that, the backlash against Kimmel was swift. One tweet read, I'm losing my mind. We are watching manufactured consent play out in real time. So in other words, Kimmel's trying to manufacture public consent against the populist efforts like those on the Wall Street Bets and make the hedge fund guys actually look like the good guys here. That's how Ian Miles Chong interpreted it. A narrative is being created. Those who rip off the public and put the people out of work are the real heroes. And obviously, these are some of the more tame tweets, for sure, pushing back against Kimmel. But then it didn't stop there. As if he were a sucker for punishment, Kimmel doubled down. He tweeted a dig at the former Daily Show host Jon Stewart, who sided with the amateur stock traders. Stewart tweeted out, "This is bullshit. The Redditors aren't cheating. They're joining a party Wall Street insiders have been joining for years. Don't shut them out. Maybe sue them for copyright infringement instead." It's actually really good. "We've learned nothing from 2008. And amen to that. That's exactly what's going on here, at least to a significant extent. This is payback for 2008 when all these billionaire dollar Wall Street corporations got bailed out by middle-class taxpayers, right? These amateur investors, they're the ones who had to pay for all these shenanigans on Wall Street a decade ago. And the minute they play along with those shenanigans and actually end up beating them at their own game, they get shut down. They get squashed for doing precisely what these hedge fund operators have been doing for years." So Jon Stewart points this out in a very witty tweet. And freaking Kimmel comes in and tweets in response, "Real Donald Trump? Is that you?" So according to Kimmel, siding with these amateur stock traders is akin to siding with Donald Trump, which is right to a certain extent in that they both represent a populist uprising against the corrupt corporate political class, with which Kimmel appears to want to endear himself. Well, obviously the tweet didn't sit well with someone on Kimmel's team, and so he deleted it. Well, at least he thought. Siraj Hashmi of the Washington Examiner, who has an infamous list of Twitter wrongdoers, got a screenshot of it and retweeted to his 75,000 followers with the comment, "At Jimmy Kimmel deleted this tweet within minutes of me posting this reply. He knew the list was coming for him." So obviously Kimmel's not doing quite well, whatever else we want to say about it. He is certainly struggling with a dire discernment deficiency. But this isn't the first time, not by a long shot. Kimmel has a long history of sticking his proverbial foot in his mouth. But first, I'm so excited to announce that we do have a brand new alt-tech directory guide called the New Conservatives Survival Guide to Big Tech Censorship, which you can get absolutely free by clicking on the link below. Now, this is a guide that's going to give you all of the alternative social media sites that you can go to get all your favorite independent content creators, but you know without what, right? Without any of the censorship that we're being exposed to by big tech. It's also going to give you insights into what more and more scholars are calling an emerging post-Google age. How's that sound? It's absolutely free as an ebook download. It's yours by simply clicking on the link below. So don't let big tech censors get in the way of your favorite content creators. Click on that link below and enjoy your survival guide to big tech censorship today. Yeah, so if Kimmel thought going full woke was going to help his career, he seems to be getting a rather rude awakening. Just a few months back, Kimmel hosted the single worst rated Emmy Award show in history. It was the thoroughly woke Emmy Awards, and it resulted, in the words of the Rap's Tony Maglio, a new low for the annual awards show. Prior to that ratings disaster, a few months prior, a recording of Kimmel resurfaced where he can be heard imitating the rapper Snoop Dogg's voice for a 1996 Christmas album, and he used the N-word several times on that recording. Fox News reported that Kimmel did admit that that was indeed his voice. He admitted on the January 2013 podcast, which was obtained by Fox News. It was with the host Adam Carolla, who talked about what he called Kimmel's crazy black voice, which Kimmel then broke into and acknowledged that he had imitated several other black people on other occasions as well, which of course reached new lows when on that Christmas album, Kimmel referred to Christ as the N-word in the manger. Now, keep in mind, his N-word controversy actually came on the heels of two other controversies. First and foremost was his blackface controversy, where a video resurfaced showing Kimmel in blackface imitating basketball great Karl Malone. These were from his old Comedy Central days, The Man Show. And obviously the sketches sparked outrage on social media. And then you had another controversy involving what many were calling a disgusting 2009 interview that Kimmel had with Megan Fox that resurfaced, where Fox told Kimmel that she was cast to wear a bikini sitting in a bar in a Michael Bay movie when she was only 15 years old. So she wasn't even anywhere near old enough to drink, but she was already being sexualized by the director. And Kimmel's reported to just laughed and said, well, all men are like that, which clearly left Megan Fox feeling pretty uncomfortable. And so first Kimmel was in hot water with the racism crowd, and then at the same time, like a 1-2 punch, he fell into hot water with the feminist crowd. But my all-time favorite embarrassment from Kimmel has to be when he had to apologize over deliberately lying about Vice President Mike Pence. You probably saw this. We did a video on it several months back. Kimmel and his staff decided, again, for whatever reason, to knowingly and intentionally mislead, frankly, to lie to their dwindling audience about Mike Pence wheeling what Kimmel claimed were empty boxes of PPE, or personal protective equipment, into a health center. And Kimmel mocked Mike Pence because as he returned to the van that he was unloading the boxes from, Pence asked about the rest of the boxes in the van, and he was told, oh, those are just empty boxes. And so on video, Pence said, well, should we carry them just for the cameras, for the photo op? Ha, ha, ha. Now, if you watch the full video, Pence is obviously kidding. He's laughing. Everybody else is laughing. He laughed. He closed the back door of the van and walked away. Kimmel actually stopped the video after Pence asked if we should carry the empty boxes for the camera. He showed that first. He accused Pence of forgetting that the mic was on. Then they spliced earlier video where Pence was actually delivering full boxes of PPE. Then when he joked that, oh, should we deliver these empty boxes, Kimmel actually tried to sell to his audience that Pence was lying for this photo op, a fraudulent PR, because he supposedly forgot the mic was on and he was carrying empty boxes and pretending like they were heavy. And then Kimmel turns around and says, this is perfect Pence. He's a big box of nothing carrying a whole box of nothings. Even left-wingers thought Kimmel was out of bounds there. BuzzFeed's deputy director, David Mack, called out the clip as being emphatically untrue, and so Kimmel was forced to apologize. It was a pretty pathetic one at that, by the way. So Jimmy Kimmel, in the name of wokeness, he continues to embarrass himself, and frankly has become yet another case study in the age-old adage, get woke, go broke. Now, before you go, make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. You definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on how Europe is absolutely exploding as citizens are rising up and revolting against the continent's draconian COVID restrictions. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there.